Welcome to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. The Leafs and the New York Islanders kicking off the post-Olympic break. And backstop blockers of the bolted down baskets tonight, Jonathan Bernier and Evgeny Nabokov for the New York Islanders. And fresh from their Olympic performance, Phil Kessel along with James Van Riemsdyk for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The referees tonight, Dennis LaRue from Savannah, Georgia, and Stettler, Alberta's Kyle Raymond, Brad Kovacic of Woodstock, and Johnny Murphy of Beauport, Quebec are the linesmen. And glad you're along with us, as it's not the second half of the season, but it is the sprint to the season's end is underway. Clarkson down into the corner as it's played to the line, and Bolton around back of the net for Clarkson. Clarkson centers in front, and a toe save made by Nabokov. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Back to the blue line it comes. Strike working in with a shot that goes into the corner, and it's picked off there and brought out by Riley. Played ahead, Lupul trying to play it out, but it's stripped away from him. Bailey will bounce it down into the zone. Bowmanville native goes in there after it with Lupul. Joffrey Lupul up against the boards, trying to free it up. So is Gleason. Gleason battles his man up against the wall. Bailey trying to get it free, and Gleason has gotten it free, and up on the wing it comes, and it's pushed out at center ice. Here's Kessel working it on the right side, and he pulled the brakes on. Kessel saucers it into the corner. Backhand pass by Bozak, steered wide of the net by Nabokov. Bozak along the boards, and Phaneuf trying to play it in. It comes in front of the net, and unable to get a shot away was Kessel. Kessel across ice feed. Now the shot is deflected wide of Nabokov's cage. Played off the glass and out into the center ice area. Opozo works down in on the left wing, but catching up to him there was Bozak, and Van Riemsdyk turns for Toronto in his own zone. On to Kessel again. Kessel in across the line. Puts the brakes on, stumbled a bit, and Opozo intercepts his pass. He's pressured in the corner by Mason Raymond. Good pace to start this first period for both teams. Opozo's pass broken up by Cody Franson. Franson dropping it back. Jake Gardiner ran out of real estate there, but gets it to Franson. Tipped in over the line then by Troy Bodie. And Mason Raymond goes into the forecheck against Lee. Up on the wing it goes, and Colin McDonald couldn't get it out. But it is Ryan Strom of Mississauga getting it out into the center ice area. Brought back into the center ice zone now for Toronto, and here is Gardiner wheeling it on the left wing. Gardiner with a pass into the slot finds Raymond. Raymond sends it in front of the goal off of Nabokov. Centering pass is blocked before it got to the net. Down the boards here is a shot by Riley right on, and that was stopped by Evgeny Nabokov. Long shooting on goal, and a big rebound! And the shot went wide of the net there by Eric Bolton. And then he misses the net by 30 feet. McDonald back at the blue line, shot blocked. Bolton with it again, and is broken up, and Kessel turns and is flattened on a hit there by Mike Halmo in his National Hockey League debut. Kessel has to go off his skate to center. Halmo on his first NHL shift flattens Phil Kessel, and the Waterloo native has got his family and friends down here to enjoy his NHL debut and a memorable first shift.
Yeah, that's the way he plays. He's an energy player that gets on the body and has to play that way to be successful and try and get a start in the National Hockey League and hang around a while.
Played out into the center ice area. DeHaan takes it back in his own zone. We've gone 3 minutes and 20 some odd seconds without a whistle. And here is the hit on Phil Kessel.
And Kessel with very good jump in his first couple of shifts here. And he gets caught just turning in, and here it comes. A pretty good looking hit by the youngster there, and Kessel seems to be all right early on the Leafs with a good first shift, and that's exactly what the coach Randy Carlyle was asking from his club here early. Get on the Islanders, get on them early, and the energy line had a pretty good shift with Clarkson cycling well down low. Kessel
may not have been caught in the center ice area with a hit like that since his very first game in a Leaf uniform. Remember when Matthias Olin flattened him right off the chute? Along the boards here is Kadri, back to the blue line to Gardiner. A wrist shot is just off the mark wide. Clarkson bangs into his man as Kadri plays it back to the blue line. fed back in, and Kadri has it again. Back to the point it goes to Gardner. Gardner back to Kadri. Kadri trying to sift around his man. Got the shot around DeHaan, but it went wide. Now the Islanders get it out into the center ice area, and Bailey will backhand it down into the Toronto zone. Josh Bailey fitted into the center ice slot in the absence of John Tavares, and it'll be an adjustment for him. Here's Franson coming out of his own zone. Up the middle it goes, off Van Riemsdyk, stick for Bozak. Bozak driving the net with a pass in front, and Kessel had that go off his chest. Now the net is off its moorings as it's brought down into the Toronto zone by Okposo. And as the rush breaks up, the whistle will go, and they'll restore the net down in behind Evgeny Nabokov.
This period brought to you by the 2014 Toyota Corolla. All new styling, same quality, durability, and value. Available now at the Toyota Drive Home a Deal event.
Well, life without John Tavares is not going to be easy for the New York Islanders, as obviously the numbers that he has put up and the way he has played the last couple of years has been absolutely outstanding, and we saw that early in the Olympics as well.
Wisnowski plays it to the near boards. Bodie is taken in against the wall. It comes back to the blue line, and a shot is steered high into the corner off the stick of Bernier. Phaneuf rattles this man into the corner, and Nikolai Kulemin back at the center ice position now, sends it back into the corner. It bounces into the slot. Kulemin's able to pick it off, and he'll get it ahead, and Phaneuf carries through center. Phaneuf in with a weak shot that was deflected wide. Nabokov plays it around on the boards, and Anders Lee gets it out into the center ice area. Paul Ranger, as the Leafs go with 7 defensemen again tonight, and it's been a fairly successful formula for them. Brought out at center ice by Thomas Hickey. To the blue line, a delayed offside. Smith is able to play it back into the corner, and the Maple Leafs will organize back there. Ranger, a rink-wide pass. Breaking out is Jay McClement across the line with Lupul. McClement puts the brakes on, steers it around back of the net. Lupul on this line along with Smith as the extra winger will get some time here. As the Leafs go with the 7 defensemen, it'll be sent down the ice. Ranger in the corner. Lays it back behind for Timmy Gleason. Rattled around the boards for Smith. He is knocked down, but is able to get the puck out into the center ice area. Bounce back in. Gleason sends it back out. Here's Trevor Smith with it again. Off the IR today. And it is brought out, now sent back in, and it is Gardner finding Ranger with it. Ranger plays it back into the corner to himself, and now it is Franson, his defense partner, back of the goal. Long lead pass for Kessel went astray. And it'll be an icing charge, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone.
Had a nice talk with Phil Kessel before the game. I asked him how he was doing, and he said, well, I have to admit, I'm a little bit tired. As the, of course, clock is all mixed up in terms of his timing and the time zones. But so far in this game, although he didn't do a lot in practice, it was almost like he was trying to save his energy for tonight. But so far here early, he has been outstanding with a great jump in his first few shifts.
His vision may be blurred a little bit after the hit that was given and handed out early in the game by Mike Helmo. Now in on the left wing is Vanek. He overskated the puck, but it's restored there by Okposo. Okposo takes it back of the net. Far side for Travis Hamonic. Into the slot for Vanek. Vanek's shot is blocked. Volleyballed over the blue line, and the Leafs have it in over the line with Bozak. Bozak looking for Kessel and finding him. Scores! Phil Kessel snaps in the opening goal, and the Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead.
Well, the hot streak continues, doesn't it? As we have seen this so many times off the rush, it's a 3-on-3, but the Islanders don't sort out their coverage. And Kessel, what he does is come back away from the traffic. A beautiful pass by Bozak, that release that we've seen so many times by Kessel, and an early lead. And here's a good look at Kessel isoed. He'll go to the net, and then, no, he'll get away from his check, and then find the far side of the net. And he doesn't need much room, does he?
32nd goal of the season for Phil Kessel and his 66th point. And the Maple Leafs own a 1-0 lead. Into the center ice area for Lupul. Rink wide, Clarkson. Clarkson goes wide, drops it back for Kadri. He tried to shovel it in for Clarkson, but it rolled off his stick. And out at center ice comes Grabner now with a pass on the right wing. Back for Grabner! And he had that go off the side of the goal post wide. Michael Grabner tied Phil Kessel for goal scoring in the Olympics and played 2 fewer games. But the young man from Austria had a pretty good Olympics. Strike gets it ahead and bounces it in past Gleason. It'll go into the corner. Gleason tying up his man Strom, and it is brought out now by Toronto on the left wing, and a rink-wide pass for Troy Bodie. He gets an angle, but got the shot off the blocking arm of Nabokov. Ryan Strom brings it back the other way. Had it off a skate. That'll be an offside at the Toronto blue line. The Leafs on a goal by Phil Kessel on a 1-0 lead with 11:59 to go in the first.
Welcome back to Long Island. 11:59 to play in the first period. Leafs leading at 1-0. And Blue Jays baseball back on Sportsnet. Pittsburgh, Toronto tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet East Ontario, West and Pacific.
32nd goal of the year for Phil Kessel, and it's when you score them that is important as we look at the ownership and front office of the New York Islanders. That's the 8th time Phil Kessel has opened the scoring for the Maple Leafs. His 8th first goal of the game. And the line has now combined for 73 points since December the 29th. Here's a shot from the point that deflects wide of Bernier.
And the starts for the New York Islanders all season long have been a real issue. Only 10 times have they been leading after the first period this year. It's ridiculous.
Bouncing puck to center. Another hit there by Mike Almo. So the Leafs better circle this young man because he is out there with the bomb doors open. Clement trying to play it down into the corner, could not. And Hickey brings it back to center for the Islanders. Up on the right wing side, Opozo fakes the shot. Turns with it now. Gets it back to the blue line. Just kept in at the line there by DeHaan. And it's around to the far side for Travis Hamonic. His shot is wide of the Leaf net. DeHaan carries into the corner. Now back to the net for Vanek. That didn't work, and the Leafs were able to break it out. Kessel was roaring through the neutral zone, but they couldn't get the pass to him. Carl Gunnarsson chipping it ahead. Bozak lost it. It rolls to the side of the net, and Bernier is going to cover up on it and hold for a face-off.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Molson Canadian Beer Fridge, Project Indonesia. See the whole story online.
1-0 Toronto, and here's Mike Helmo.
Yeah, kid put up some pretty nice numbers in his latter years of junior playing for Owen Sound, but he's an energy guy. This is the way he has to play. And obviously pretty wired up to play against the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Why wouldn't he be?
Never drafted as well, Greg.
Nope.
You know, there was a guy from Peterborough named Steve Webb that used to get everybody pretty excited in here with that kind of activity.
Yeah, but only on home ice, Joe.
Because they wouldn't play him on the road. He's down, I think he's retired in Peterborough, that area now, if I'm not mistaken, Greg.
Works for the Players Association, Joe, and I believe around this area still.
Oh, is he? Okay. 10:26 left to go in the first period. The draw comes back to the blue line. Long shot is high over top of the net. Played on the backhand then by Clutterbuck, and it is gobbled up there by the Maple Leafs and fed up on the wing for David Clarkson. Clarkson plays it behind his goal as he orchestrate his way around the official. Al Clarkson and his centerman get tangled up. Centering pass and a shot. Bernier with a glance, but the puck is in front of him, and he'll hold it for a face-off in the Toronto zone once more.
Wow, this line's been a bit of a handful for the Toronto Maple Leafs, with Michael Grabner being very good on it. Bad giveaway here by Gardner. They try to work the reverse to France, and it doesn't go so well. And here's the one-timer. Good tracking by Bernier to get to the top of the crease. He did look behind him, but he was in perfect position to make the save.
Face-off controlled. A long shot is high, but taken on the chest by Bernier. And he's going to hold on. 9:57 to play in the first. Phil Kessel's 32nd of the season. The only one on the board. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL.
Well, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they wanted to get their pace going right away after the layoff and the forecheck. They've done a nice job with that. And you have to replace somehow Tavares, which you won't, but you'll have to do it by committee. And a lot of young players that have been drafted quite high in this organization the last couple of years here in New York are getting some pretty good opportunity now to show what they can do for the organization.
The draw is won by Toronto, but controlled here by the Islanders, then fed out at center by Kuhlman. Islanders get it again on the left wing for Lee. Shot deflected wide of the net, centered in front of the goal, and it's played into the near boards now, and here's Troy Bodie getting it into the center ice area. Raymond will force it back deep into the Islander zone, fed by Strome, but picked off there. Bodie trying to play it back. Kuhlman got a shot away, bounced out in front. Gleason. That was a fluttering shot that went just wide of the net. Into the corner and now back out into the slot for Raymond, and his shot was blocked. Morgan Riley. Gleason's going to try and tee it up a second time. That's a better shot, but into the chest and then in front of the net. It was wide of the goal with no one getting a stick on it as it went through the slot. Wisnawski got it ahead. McDonald plays it in, and the Islanders are going to change in the go. 9 minutes to play, first period, 1-0 Toronto. 22-game race to the playoffs. And the Leafs have got a lot of road games, 13 on the road, 9 at home through the course of the remainder of the season. Kessel gets it in over the line, forced off the puck by Strait, and it's out into the center ice area. And here in over the line is Helmo. Centering pass, big save Bernier, and the Leafs are able to get it out into the center ice area. Mike Helmo's been the player of the period.
Boy, he's been good, hasn't he?
Hasn't he?
Physical.
Great pass there. Leafs back of the net with Paul Ranger. Whitby native brings it out at center, and he'll send a long shoot in off the stick of Nabokov. DeHaan banks it into the far corner for Hamonic. Hamonic, a pass almost intercepted by Kessel, but carried into the zone now. Here is Nelson into the corner, chased there by Gardner and squeezed off the disc. Gardner trying to drag it along as Nelson has fallen on it, and it gets to Van Riemsdyk, who flips it into the center ice area. Calvin DeHaan from the Ottawa Valley, and Carp right ahead for Hamonic. Played in over the line, broken up at the Leaf defense. Kadri couldn't get away. Now he gets another pass to Lupul. Lupul looking for Clarkson, and the shot deflects into the far corner. Clarkson first there to get it to Kadri. Left for Lupul. Lupul around behind the net. Works to the corner, back to the blue line, but out of the reach of Phaneuf. And it's going to sail all the way down into the Toronto zone. Islanders get their change going. Lupul pulls the brakes on, then gave the puck away, and Bernier thinks that maybe a change is needed, and so he's going to hold on to that. They get some pushing at the side of the net with Cal Clutterbuck in there having a word with Phaneuf, and is there going to be a penalty here?
Looks like it, Joe. Well, this morning we'll get to the penalty in a moment. David Bolin with the team.
Control, penalty number 3,
Skating.
2 minutes for roughing.
Still looked to me like he was having some issues with his foot, the tendon. And it'll be interesting to see when, in fact, he is 100%. He has a chat with Randy Carlyle, I'm sure, about how it's feeling.
Yeah, Greg, he looked good Monday and for the better part of Tuesday's practice. Now Hill getting clipped late in practice and then had to leave it, so temporarily delayed, but Leafs hoping to get him back sooner than later.
Phaneuf for roughing at 12:46 is the first penalty called in the game. Cleared to the line and out by the Leaf penalty killers. Toronto has been excellent in its last 6 games, giving up just 1 power play goal in 15 times short. Wisnawski hits the line. It rolls and knocked into the corner, then set right through the goal crease area. Unable to get to it and get it out there was Gleason as it's back into the corner. Carl Gunnarsson swinging it around on the far side, and it's going to be bounced out into the center ice area as the Islanders couldn't keep it in. Gleason loses it to Opozo. Now in along the near board, centering pass, trying to get it freed up with Wisniewski, and the shot then went off a leg wide. Grabbed off by Kuhlman and shot down the ice.
And Joe, the penalty killing, in my opinion, has improved considerably because of the addition of Gleason on the back end. How many shots has he blocked? Killing penalties, and he's done a very good job. It settled down the defense a little bit, and the penalty killers.
Bailey across the line, fed around on the far side, chopped ahead at center by the Leafs Van Riemsdyk, and here is Raymond now in over the line, and he decides to rag it and send it back into his own zone. And it is launched out and down the ice then by Cody Franson. 40 seconds left to go in the penalty. Hamonic starting out of his own zone slowly, working against the Maple Leafs' Jay McClement. Launched high into the near corner. There's the aforementioned Gleason getting it up on the wing. Now it is freed up by McClement, and Carl Gunnarsson will launch a long bouncing shot. This is the arena.
I knew you were going to go there, Joe.
The other end, though.
Yes, it was, but a similar play. In across the line, unable to hold on to it. Bolton takes his man down, and he's going to get a penalty for it. So Eric Bolton will go to the penalty box. And the Leafs will get their first opportunity with the power play in 5 seconds time.
It was a good thing it was Bolton, because Ranger got caught flat-footing looking. And here's the penalty afterwards, and not a smart play at all by Bolton, as the Leafs have 5 seconds left. Phaneuf in the penalty box, and then they will go on the power play.
You'll recall that maybe the best scoring chance the Islanders had was also on the stick of Bolton, all alone in front of the net, and he missed the goal.
That's perfect if you're a Leaf fan.
You're going to give it up. Give it up to the guy that has the good hands. Here's Franson to Kessel, 4-on-4. Bozak curls wide. Now the Leafs on the power play. Fed to the line and out of the box is Phaneuf, allowed to keep it in. Chip back of the net. Van Riemsdyk couldn't get to it. Kessel does. Kessel on the boards, trying to take it away from Andrew McDonald. Back to the blue line to Phaneuf. Phaneuf saucers it back. Kessel stepping in, still with it. Trying to make a pass instead of shooting it. Phaneuf now with lots of traffic and ride. Big pad save. And the rebound off that left pad comes all the way out into the center ice area.
Yeah, Joe, with the Nabokov, he lets rebounds go out, and they're long rebounds. So you don't necessarily crash the net with him. You do for the first forechecker. The second one, you want to back up to the hash marks a little bit, and you'll get some pretty good chances off the rebound on this goaltender.
Now here's Kessel in on the wing. Looks for a man in front. Here's Phaneuf trying to drive. Sends it in front. Oh, what an excellent save that was by that left pad of Nabokov as it was taken there and bounced out. That Vaughn pad got out there, made an excellent save. I thought it hit his pad. We're going to get a look. Here's a loose puck now in front of the net. Somebody score! Michael Grabner, fresh from the Olympics.
That's the 6th shorthanded goal for the New York Islanders. And there is a chance at the other end that rattles off the post. And then a giveaway here by Gardner as he circles back, gets a little bit too fancy, tries to advance the puck with a bad pass, and Grabner, who's been good this period, makes no mistake. And here is the bad giveaway, a soft play by Gardner, and it costs him.
So Michael Grabner has tied the game with a shorthanded goal, the 6th for the team. Clutterbuck leads in that department. He's got 3 of them. And Grabner had an outstanding Olympics with Austria as he tied Phil Kessel with goal production. A bouncing puck into the slot, and Riley couldn't get to it. Played into the corner now, and it'll be Clutterbuck getting it out and down the ice. That is the 7th shorthanded goal the Leafs have surrendered. Down the boards, Kadri unable to get it into the corner, and it's launched on the backhand out and down the ice. Just, whoa! A giveaway in front of the net, and the Islanders have scored! Grabner again!
Bernier goes to pass the puck and advance it, but he realizes he can't because the Leafs are on a change. So when he does that, there's the change. He can't do it. There's too many men on the ice. So what does he do? He tries to get a little bit too fancy with the turnaround, and it doesn't go so well, obviously. And here's the play. He wants to advance the puck up the boards. He can't. Tries a little spinorama, trying to hit Riley. Riley, instead of getting away from him, goes right towards the goalie off his foot, and then a break right to Grabner's stick, and the Islanders with a quick 2-1 lead.
Both are short-handed goals as it's brought to center ice by Smith. Long shoot in, goes wide of the Islander goal. Batted in then by Phaneuf. Behind the net of the Clarkson. Clarkson trying to center, was stood up there by Hickey. And now Hickey is given a bump as it comes ahead for Strome. McClement unable to get to it, and it's played out into the center ice area, and here is Strome with it again. Looking for Lee, took the shot. That was stopped by Bernier. In against the boards, Jay McClement. Al Gleason. And McClement trying to dig it free. Poked in front of the net for Clarkson. Dished off on the left wing. And it is Smith carrying it to the red line and getting it deep into the Islander zone.
Well, Bernier's made very few poor decisions with the puck this year. Obviously, he made one there.
I don't know what it is about that end of the rink, but strange things happen down there in this building when the Leafs are playing. Al back to the blue line. Long shot directed wide of the net by Bernier off the stick of DeHaan. Played into the corner, and Van Riemsdyk settles it down. Played it into the near corner. No one there. Phaneuf unable to reach it. And now Pozo has some difficulties with it against the near boards. Van Riemsdyk peppered around on the far side for Bozak. Engaged there by Brock Nelson, but Bozak gets it out. Here's Van Riemsdyk for the near side, trying to play it in off a pass from Kessel. Bozak gets there first. Kessel trying to play it in front, was bumped by DeHaan. Puck comes free, Van Riemsdyk back to the slot. Gardner shot, deflects off Bozak wide of the goal. Played around into the corner. Hamonic trying to come out with it. And Hamonic against the boards. Van Riemsdyk steals it from him and is hooked. And Hamonic's going to go to the penalty box. Bernier waiting to see if someone gets possession of the puck. Now he's headed for the bench, but it'll be touched here by Vanek. And with 1:04 to go here in the period, the Leafs back to the power play.
Unless your TV's in the kitchen, you'll want a finger cook tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at BostonPizza.com.
Two short-handed goals by Michael Grabner have the Islanders out in front. The Leafs to their second power play.
Well, a puck battle to the right in the back off results in a Hamonic hooking penalty on Van Riemsdyk as he hooked him up. The Leafs in the power play.
Kadri into the corner. Raymond back to Kadri. He went for the top shelf and missed. Played back to the net. Bounces past Kadri onto the wing. Raymond sends it back. Nazem Kadri back along for Mason Raymond. Raymond holds. Looks back into the slot. Gets it back again. Kadri down low. Centers. Lupul took a quick swipe at it and couldn't get much wood on it. Kadri wraps it back towards the blue line, and it'll come to center ice.
The Leafs worked on that power play, low play this morning in practice. It almost worked for them. A little give and go, and then a cycle back into the deep slot.
Gardner couldn't get it in deep, and it is played out at center. Clutterbuck led the Islanders in short-handed goals with 3. He now has company. Grabner has scored twice here short-handed, and he has 3. Shot went wide of the net. Here's Phaneuf playing again around back of the net. Here's Raymond trying to center. He did! And it was knocked wide, and there's the horn to end the period as the Islanders will take a lead to the dressing room.
This period brought to you by the 2014 Toyota Corolla. All new styling, same quality, durability, and value. Available now at the Toyota Drive Home a Deal event.
After a solid start and a Kessel goal, a horrific power play for the Leafs. They give up 2 shorties. It's 2-1 New York after 1. Let's go to Darren in the panel. Welcome back to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. The Leafs trail in the game 2-1 on a couple of shorthanded goals by Michael Grabner. And let's go downstairs now to Chris Johnson along with Paul Hendrick.
Thank you, Joe. Chris, the Islanders can certainly appreciate depth at center because of the injuries all of a sudden. The Maple Leafs have gone in a slightly different direction to get the job done in the last 3 games.
They've gone the last place they thought they'd ever go, Paul, and that's to Nikolai Kulemin filling in while David Bolin is getting back. And look at the job he's done here. Lucky to get Ryan Strome, I guess the rookie, on a couple of these defensive zone faceoffs, but it says a lot about the confidence that Randy Carlyle has found in what has really been a veteran winger in the NHL, and that he's put him out for some of these defensive situations, including one out of a TV timeout. We see him here in the own zone, keeping his position, breaking up a play, clearing the puck, and as I mentioned, won 2 of the 3 faceoffs in his own zone, and here again, helping get it out for a clear. Nikolai Kulemin filling in a nice defensive role, kind of quietly, not exactly what we expect to see from this guy.
Former goal-scoring specialist with 30 plus 2 heading into this game here tonight as a result of playing center. Let's send it back upstairs to Joe Bond.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Well, the 2 goals that Grabner scored 48 seconds apart. If you were wondering how close that was to a league record, the Toronto Maple Leafs had a hand in the record. 1988, November the 12th, Esa Tikkanen of the Edmonton Oilers scored 2 shorthanded goals against the Leafs, but it only took him 12 seconds. The Leafs are on the power play again, and it's bounced out into the center ice area, and Franson plays it back to Phaneuf. The last player to score 2 shorthanded goals in the same game, Ryan O'Neill of Colorado against Columbus in February of 2010. Now Van Riemsdyk down the boards and into the corner. Trying to tie up his man, it comes free, and it's backhanded by Brock Nelson out and down the ice.
Well, when it happens to you as well as a group on the power play, you get a little bit gun-shy in terms of moving the puck, and you're a little hesitant knowing that you're down 2 already in that area.
Pozo in on the left wing. Nelson trying to work in on the wing. Couldn't get freed up. Now Bozak has the puck to safety, and he starts out with it. Bozak surrounded, gets it on to Van Riemsdyk, who pumps it down into the Islander zone. Nabokov playing it around on the boards. Anders Lee trying to work it free, and he does. And it'll be shot out into the center ice area and down into the Leaf end. Bernier back to Gardner. A touch pass. Springs Kadri. His pass ahead for Clarkson is going to be deflected into the Toronto bench and out of play. And it will be brought back. And here's a look at the 2 shorthanded goals. The first set up by Casey Cizikas.
And if you've just joined us here, a giveaway here by Gardner. Creates a little 2-on-1 down low and a great finish by Grabner. And then here's the miscue. Bernier wants to go to the bench with it. He can't because it'd be too many men. Riley doesn't get away from him, and then a careless play by Bernier ends up in the back of the net.
Played around on the boards. McDonald trying to free it up, and it comes out into the center ice area for Kadri along with Clarkson. Clarkson trying to drive down the boards, but DeHaan took him out and then knocked him down. McDonald back the other way for the Islanders. Broken up at the center ice red line, then slashed by Strome deep into the Toronto zone. Gardner around behind the net. Penalty is over, and the Leafs trailing by a score of 2-1. Gardner to the red line. Fires it in deep. Almo down there tried to free it up. It goes down in against the end boards. Lupul unable to reach it, and it'll be brought out by Bolton now to center ice. Eric Bolton with a long shoot in and a pad save made by Bernier. Rangers sending it around on the wall, and Clarkson got a piece of his man, allowing it to free itself to center ice. Sent right back down into the Toronto zone. Bernier touches it off into the corner for Morgan Riley. Riley's pass for Kadri didn't work. It comes in front of the net, and a quick stick there by Paul Ranger freed it up. Van Riemsdyk launches it high, deep into Islander territory. Kessel into the forecheck against Thomas Hickey. and then Van Riemsdyk couldn't come up with it. Backhanded to the line, broken up there by Bozak, but he was unable to get it free and into the slot where Kessel was waiting. Phaneuf around behind the net with Vanek chasing. Thomas Vanek, his name very much in the trade rumor mill going on. The Buffalo Sabres are liable to get the first 2 picks in the draft if they utilize this year's first round pick in the exchange from Olsen.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, you're back.
Sportsnet magazine has the inside story and how every one of Canada's medals was won. Cap it off with dozens of pages of the most spectacular photos from Sochi, and you'll have a collector's edition fit for remembering a Golden Games. Visit sportsnetmag.ca/gold to reserve your copy now.
And that edition came out today, so it is hot off the presses. Opozo backhands it into the corner. Nelson goes after it. Bernier scooped it away from him. Phaneuf playing it around on the near side. Van Riemsdyk back for Carl Gunnarsson and on to Bozak. Right wing side for Kessel. Couldn't get to it. Kessel overskated it then. And the Islanders have it and brought out to center ice. Intercepted there by Gardner. He's across the line with Bozak. Gardner coming in. Passes off to the wing. And Bodie had his body hooked there. There's going to be another penalty here to the Islanders. Centering pass, Troy Bodie, and an excellent glove save made by Nabokov.
Well, a neutral zone giveaway by the New York Islanders creates a rush chance for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And because of that, Bailey is not in a good defensive position, and he has to hook on to Bodie there, and that's the penalty. And then we're going to see a pretty good save by Nabokov afterwards here as he tracks well out on Bodie and makes a nice glove save, and there is Bailey in the penalty box.
Evgeny Nabokov wears sweater number 20 in reference to a pretty good netminder from Russia early on in Vladislav Tretiak. And it is shot out and down the ice then by the Islanders. Third power play of the game for Toronto.
See if this line can work the low play behind Nabokov as well. It clicked for them in the first period. They just didn't get a good chance off the shot.
And it's offside as Kadri's pass for Raymond bogged the rush down. And a face-off coming back into the center ice area.
And that'll be the end of that unit as Kessel and company comes out.
And Randy Carlyle not a happy camper behind that bench after his team gave up 2 shorthanded goals on the same penalty, 48 seconds apart, that erased what was a pretty good first period.
Real good. They gave it away, quite frankly, with a couple of mistakes.
Kessel snapping it in front. That went off the stick of McDonald. It's played to the line, but not out. Franson across for Phaneuf. Tipped in for Kessel. Kessel at the near half boards. Looks in front, still has it. Now trying to work back as Franson had gone to the front of the net. The pass went wide of the net. Franson traps on the far side. Into the corner it goes. Round back of the net, now to the near side of the half boards for Kessel. He's double teamed, but he gets it back to Phaneuf, who just does keep it in. Phaneuf to Franson. Franson fakes the shot, down low for Van Riemsdyk. Near side for Kessel again. Kessel back, and it's intercepted. And here's a shorthanded rush again. Brock Nelson in with a backhand, and that went high and wide. He would have been going to the record books again for 3 shorthanded goals in the game. Back the other way comes Bozak. Back to the blue line to Kessel. Snapshot, pad save made by Nabokov. And it's cleared to the line and out and down the ice. Franson will go back to retrieve it and leaves a Islander in his wake. Here's Kadri, drop past Mason Raymond. Raymond mishandles the puck, able to keep it in. A weak shot goes into the slot, and it's backhanded by Travis Hamonic to center ice.
Grabner behind him wide open, looking for a breakaway attempt.
Now here's Raymond to the blue line to Riley. Far side to Gardner. Penalty about to expire now does. Bailey's out of the box. Shot blocked into the corner. Hickey trying to play it to the line. Dropped back there by Gardner and sent to an open wing. Hamonic will go back there and play it off the boards. Trapped by Raymond. Trying to feed it in front of the net for Lupo. Shooting, and he sent it over top of the goal. Into the slot for Kadri to intercept. His shot is right on, and That time Nabokov took it on the chest. And it's back down into the Toronto zone. Nazem Kadri likes this building. He had a hat trick in here last year. And we're getting a whistle here as there is a mask issue with Evgeny Nabokov. 13:28 to go, second period. The Leafs trail by 1.
It's that time of year, and there are all kinds of scouts in this building. You know, watching these two players, wondering if they have a way of perhaps getting them at the trade deadline. The problem with Vanek is that there are not many teams that are going to be in the Vanek race because of cap issues, because he demands a big salary. McDonald would be a nice pickup for a lot of teams. He's a tremendous shot blocker, and also he eats up a lot of minutes. This kid's become a pretty good defenseman. And he's 8th in the league in minutes as well, and 1st in the league in block shots. So he might be a nice pickup for a lot of teams, and many teams looking for defense.
And of course, Sportsnet will have all-day coverage of the trade deadline special going on. Starts at 8 a.m. next Wednesday. The Leafs will be in New York that day. And there will certainly be Sportsnet there to cover all of the action as far as the Leafs are concerned. Now here's McDonald in the corner. Plays it around behind the net. Ranger rubs out his man and pushes the puck free. Kuhlman against the wall. Got it to Gleason, and up ahead for Mason Raymond. A nice little touch pass, and Kuhlman got it out into the center ice area. Now Raymond and Kuhlman free it up, and Gleason will restore order back in his own zone. Raymond goes back to circle in the zone, takes a little saucered pass there from Ranger, played in over the line and slides in nicely. Now around behind the net, here's Mason Raymond with it again. Raymond sends a shot in on goal, and it's gloved by Nabokov and held for a face-off in the Islander zone.
Well, Raymond stalled for a little bit for me about 3 weeks before the break, and then he seemed to find his game again and get his legs going. And obviously, for him to be effective, speed is everything. And when he's moving his feet, dancing the way he can be an effective player, and pretty good shift by him there.
So the face-off will be in the circle to the left of Evgeny Nabokov. Veteran netminder, 38 years of age, claimed off waivers from Detroit. Much heralded situation where he said he didn't want to come here, and then decided that he did, and has been a bit of a mainstay here ever since. But the Islander goaltending situation is another area that Garth Snow is going to have to address. The Rick DiPietro saga is over, and Nabokov is getting a little long in the tooth. Kevin Poulin is the backup netminder,
who they probably rushed in this situation here in New York. I think he's still going to be a pretty good player.
Halmo took a shot there at Franson. Now it's launched high into the zone. Some pushing and shoving there against the boards. Halmo tied up with Clarkson. Here's Gardner in across the line, trying to flip it in front of the net to himself, and that didn't work. Now Clarkson in the corner. Smith arrives on the scene. The puck stolen, and a shot is taken by Van Riemsdyk through traffic. But Nabokov was able to find it and hold on.
Clarkson here is answering the bell a little bit with this Halmo kid, saying, hey, we've had enough of you running around. And this goes over and gives him a little shove, talking to the bench, talking to the kid a little bit. And then they both separate and move on.
Franson has a big hit as it's brought out into the center ice area. On the right wing side for Kyle Oposo, and he made a blind pass into the corner, hoping to find Vanek, and he did. Now it's a 3-on-1 going the other way. Kessel, Van Riemsdyk, backhand stop by Nabokov.
False. The defense of the Islanders straight. He just jumps right into the play here, and then the Islanders with the giveaway, and Vanek's the forward back that should be filling in for the defenseman. He pinches as well, and that's why we end up with a 3-on-1 here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nabokov shows tremendous patience and holds his ground as Van Riemsdyk goes to the backhand.
So a huge save by Nabokov on a 3-on-1. Put up Plays it out into the center ice area. It's shot back in. High stick clipping DeHaan, but no call from the officials. Out into the center ice area. Bozak couldn't get free. And then he was hit by DeHaan, and the puck ends up going into the Toronto bench and out of play.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Halmo taking over for Matt Martin, who's not in the lineup for the Islanders tonight. He leads the NHL in hits with 275. Although in this building, if you sneeze in front of somebody, you're liable to get credited with a hit. But Halmos have been pretty legit. Hamonic up on the right wing side, brought in over the line. Tried to slide it into the slot area, and it's broken up by the Leafs and fired off the boards out at center. Josh Bailey will go back. Left it there for DeHaan. He is forced back by Joffrey Lupul's presence. And 10.5 minutes to go here in the second period. Long lead pass for Halmo is down into the Toronto zone, and Morgan Rielly is around behind the net. Rielly gets it ahead for Kadri. Drop back for Gleason. He ran into trouble there. Now Halmo trying to free it up and did. Wisnowski to the side of the goal, a centering pass, and a block there made by Rielly's pad. Against the boards, Kadri couldn't get it past Wisnowski. Halmo in the corner. Bolton trying to push it to the side of the net, and he has succeeded in doing just that. As Gleason and Bolton push a little bit, and Gleason and Bolton have dropped the gloves. And an elbow pad. Sparring at long range. Gleason with the first couple of punches to land. Switches to the left, and then Bolton knocks him down with a left hand. Things are starting to heat up on the island.
Well, Bolton's a tough customer, and you wonder why Gleason kind of went after him here in a situation that looked somewhat harmless. As Bolton here goes to the net, and then there is the pushing and shoving that starts, and then, yeah, I mean, Gleason, they just saw it off and went at it. Before this, I want to show you a couple of nice plays by young Morgan Rielly as he just gets better and better. Here's a situation here with a good stick to break up a 2-on-1, and then another similar play on a 2-on-1 that he just drags that leg and makes a strong defensive play as Morgan Rielly gets more and more confidence as this season progresses. I'm sure the break was terrific for a young player like this that isn't used to the heavy National Hockey League schedule and demands, and he comes back fresh, and that will help the youngster considerably.
36th fighting major for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tim Gleason's first in a Leaf uniform. And it is around behind the net for Cody Franson. Franson to Kulemin. He'll get it out into the center ice area. Islanders have to evacuate, and it's sent right back down into the zone. At the side of the net, a sharp angle shot is smothered by Bernier and is going to be held for a face-off in the Toronto zone to the right.
And Bernier settled in pretty well in the second period. I thought he let a couple of uncharacteristic rebounds out, maybe a little rust, and then of course the play where he mishandled the puck. But one thing about Jonathan Bernier, nothing seems to rattle him. He knows he made a mistake, he just keeps playing, and that's a huge asset for him.
Face-off is to his right. Grabner plays it down into the corner. Knocked away to the side of the goal. Bozak has recovered it there. Launches it high into the center ice area. And it'll force McDonald back into his own zone with Kessel chasing him down. Now Van Riemsdyk adds to the forechecking pressure. Bozak comes away with it. Couldn't get it back. Now it comes back to the blue line to Phaneuf, who sends a weak shot in on goal. Handled easily there by Nabokov. Gardner has it knocked away, and now here's a chance with Clutterbuck in over the line. Clutterbuck with a shot, and it is handled by Bernier.
And Grabner's had quite a night, hasn't he? This guy gets so many chances because of his speed. And he just takes off here. A miscue by Gardner, who's having a bit of a tough night. And he gets in behind the defense again. And what a save by Bernier. Good read by Bernier to stay up. Doesn't use the butterfly in that situation. And Gardner's going to end up in the penalty box as for hooking when he gave the puck away.
Second power play opportunity of the game for the Islanders. Opozo wins it cleanly. Here's Wisnowski to the far side, working in as McDonald. McDonald plays back of the net, and Vanek couldn't come up with it. Opozo to Wisnowski. Again to McDonald. Here comes the shot, and it's high and wide. Rebound will not escape the zone. Wisnowski with it again. McDonald once more. Pass wide of the net. Vanek couldn't handle it. Opozo now on the near side. Gets it freed up for Nelson. Nelson to McDonald to Wisnowski, and out there quickly was Kulemin to block that shot. Alphanuff battles along the boards. Puck is still free in a maze of skates, but it is Kulemin getting a hold of it, and he wires it into the bench. Well, the faceoff will be in the circle to the right.
Yeah, Jay McClement wasn't happy with the faceoff here by the official. You watch the puck, and they're going to wave it down, and then they let the play continue. So I'm sure there was a whole bunch of confusion there by McClement on that play.
Draw is controlled by the Leafs in front of the goal, and it is airmailed out and down the ice.
And the good news for the official is that there wasn't a goal on the player. That might have been a bit of a heated discussion between the Leafs and the linesman.
DeHaan, the center, chips it in and then goes in there after it. Down into the corner. Strome gets it back to the blue line, and a shot is blocked. There's a big rebound off Bernier, but again it was out too far. Dropped by Raymond and sent down into the Islander zone. Leafs have had 4 shorthanded goals themselves this year. As it's in across the line, broken up there by Van Riemsdyk. He's got Raymond with him, but the pass for Raymond went off a stick and goes wide. Now Raymond is able to recover it. Raymond in the corner. Van Riemsdyk went to the front of the net. Raymond fanned on the pass, but has it again. Sends it around behind the net. Van Riemsdyk trying to shield it there. Van Riemsdyk in against the wall and has it poked free. Now trying to extricate himself from Hamannik's grasp. And it's out into the center ice area for Strome. Strome into the corner, and it is around back of the net. Penalty has 2 seconds left in it. Long shoot in, directed into the corner by Nabokov. The Leafs are back at full and even strength as Gardner is out. Straight, long shoot in, directed wide of the net by Bernier. Played around behind the net. Cizikas lost it, and the Leafs play it off the glass. This will be an icing charge against Toronto. And it'll be faced off in the circle to the left of Jonathan Bernier with 6:32 to go in the second period. No scoring here in the second stanza, all in the first. Islanders 2, Leafs 1.
After the first period was a bit of a track meet, both these two teams have settled in to play some pretty stingy defensive hockey here in the second. Been a few chances. Nabokov has had to be sharp early in the period, but the Islanders haven't generated much other than the one breakaway chance by Grabner moments ago, and Bernier with the good save.
Well, and the Leafs with the 3-on-1 chance that they had against Nabokov, who made the excellent save on Van Riemsdyk. Gardner up ahead for Kulemin. Kulemin to the line, had it poked off his stick, and then upended there was Mike Helmo with a hit. Played in over the line then by Gardner, who gets a couple of whacks from Colin McDonald. McDonald gets the puck in the center ice area, flips it into the corner, and Morgan Riley will go back. Riley forced off the disc, and then it was centered, comes out. Gonna be tough to score after knocking it down with your hand, and you forgot to bring the stick along. Vanek was in perfect position and had the puck, but he didn't have the cue. Rattled around the boards, Vanek didn't get it out. Clarkson trying to make a move there. He's got Kadri sifting around. Kadri back into the corner. Kadri now looks for a man out into the slot. Tried to backhand it along for Lupo. Back to the blue line, and a penalty coming here to the Islanders. A hooking call once more, and the Leafs are going to go to their 4th power play opportunity. And the big save in this period, this 3-on-1.
It's now time to live the game with the new windows.
How about we try the Sportsnet magazine coming out today? We're from Russia with gold, Henny. And it's fresh on the newsstands. All of the reports on all of the gold medal winners, including the hockey team seen there on the cover.
Let me finish this. Sportsnet, mag.ca/gold. Reserve your copy now.
Thank you, Homer Simpson. We'll get the windows later.
Yeah, mine's been shut for a while.
Phaneuf drops it back, and Kessel on the power play brings it in over the line to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk double team. Kessel trying to help him out. Van Riemsdyk got it freed up, but it's back of the net. Nabokov stops it there and brought out now by Straight, and he'll send it down the ice. Clutterbuck is up there forechecking, then peels to the bench. Phaneuf starts the Leaf power play out. Drops it back for Kessel. He got bogged down a little bit without much momentum. Now trying to regain some as he gets in over the line. Van Riemsdyk into the slot, and Bozak couldn't lift the stick of the defenseman in front to Hahn, and it's shot down the ice. Bernier with a better play there on the power play. Up ahead it comes to Kessel. Kessel with Van Riemsdyk. Back to the blue line. Phaneuf one-timer. And that explodes the thing, and now Grabner almost had another, and this could be a penalty shot. They're going to call a penalty.
Toronto number 3, minor penalty, illegal stick.
Did he make contact with the puck?
Well, he saved a goal. I can tell you that, because Grabner had the puck on his stick. And here's the puck, the stick exploding. Grabner's going off to the races.
Sure, he made a...
And he got the puck.
So Phaneuf is in the box.
And there's the stick exploding, and Phaneuf gets the puck. And there's the penalty.
A shot into the slot area is blocked. It was not in the defensive zone. And so it is a minor penalty. And Phaneuf literally saves certainly what would have been a shorthanded rush by Grabner. And he's already scored twice by that route here tonight. Here's 4-on-4 hockey. A drop pass for Carl Gunnarsson. His shot. He took a little too much time to get it organized. And by then, Josh Bailey had a stick in the way and sends it up into the screen.
By the way, Gleason back on the bench, seems to be okay after getting into a pretty hefty scrap.
We played 16 minutes and 5 seconds into this second period. The Islanders, who have a record of 8-14-8 on home ice, have a 2-1 lead on Toronto thanks to 2 goals, 48 seconds apart, scored both by Michael Grabner and both while the Leafs were on the power play. Hamonic bringing it forward. They'll go on the power play in 16 seconds time. It'll be about a minute in duration as Gardner with a little head fake now carries to center along with Clarkson, who takes the drop pass and the shot. And that went off a stick and ramps up into the screen and out of play. It'll be faced off in the circle to the left of Evgeny Nabokov.
And the New York Islanders will go back on the power play 4 seconds.
If they get out of their lease, this would be our last opportunity here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And you know, 3 years ago to the day, Duke Snider passed away. He was the Duke of Flatbush, and that's pretty much where the new Barclays Center is located. In fact, it is built on the same land as where O'Malley, the owner of the Dodgers, wanted to build a dome stadium back in the mid to late 50s. That, of course, didn't happen. Here's a Pozo in, and that is ramped off a stick and up into the screen. The Dodgers ended up leaving Ebbets Field and moving to Los Angeles. And now the basketball team is in Brooklyn, and the New York Islanders are soon to join them at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Pozo, who was red hot before the break, been pretty quiet so far in this game, gets a pretty good look there.
Had a great opportunity to meet Duke Snider when I was living in Halifax, and what a tremendous individual he was, and some great stories of those Brooklyn teams. Here's Wisniewski in the slot, back to Opozo. Opozo down low, a centering pass! Bernier somehow got to that, but they're still free! Bernier needs to get up, thought it was underneath him. He's back on his skates. Near side, back to the blue line. Opozo, a centering pass, and it is whipped wide of the net by Brock Nelson out into the center ice area. Jonathan Bernier was down and out, and it went right through the top of the crease. He was spread out in the biggest snow angel he could organize.
Bernier with the scramble here. He gets run over by Gunnarsson as well. And the puck never does get near him.
You know the defenseman's trying to help you, but that's an awful feeling. You're trying to get up. You got enough equipment on anyway to try and get yourself off your backside to get onto your skates. And then you got some guy lying on top of you, which isn't helping. 2 seconds left in the penalty to Phaneuf. He's back into the game. Out into the center ice area, Pozo to Vanek. Vanek with a pass that was blocked by Ranger. A pass ahead from Bozak to Kessel. Kessel coming through center. Rink wide, Van Riemsdyk. And he couldn't handle it. And by the time Bozak got there, play was offside. So the face-off in the center ice area, and take a look at what these guys have done over the course of this season.
Yeah, in the last 21 games, they've been absolutely on fire, and even tonight, they've had a very good evening. They created a lot of chances to score. Van Riemsdyk could have easily had one in this period. Of course, Phil Kessel with the only Leaf goal.
They were on the ice, however, for the first shorthanded goal. The second, of course, was the misplay by Bernier. And as much as the Leaf goaltending has bailed this team out over the course of the years, a chance now for Josh Bailey, and a nice play made by Gardner. I'm sure they are saying to a man on the bench, let's get Bernie off the handle on this one. As Bernier's giveaway is the difference in the game. Grabner launching it down into the corner. McDonald tied up there. Phaneuf with some skating room, and now tried to make a little pass, and Grabner took it away from him. Into the corner it goes McDonald. McDonald looking for Grabner in front, goes back to the point. The shot is off the mark wide by Andrew McDonald. Gardner had to go off a leg. Now he tries to make a move against the boards to Phaneuf. Phaneuf taken to the wall. Colin McDonald is in there as well. The puck comes back towards the blue line. Straight with a pass into the slot, and unable to handle it was Anders Lee. Kessel is bowled over again. Al Phaneuf steps into his man. Gardner frees the puck up for him, and it is Bozak just launching it high into the center ice area to allow the Leafs to get a change of players going. Andrew McDonald. A pass up on the left wing side, brought through center ice. In on the wing it goes. Straight, trying to go wide. Too well covered there by Franson. And the puck comes free to Lupul, and he and Kadri are away. Lupul in over the line, and it's knocked off his stick right at the blue line. And almost an odd man rush for Grabner again. Now here's a pass that goes off a skate, and it is Kadri turning in his own zone, losing it. Clutterbuck knocked down by Kadri. A centering pass is coming back to the near point. Kept in there and sent to the blue line. And there's the horn to end the period. Scoreless through that 20, but 2 shorthanded goals the difference. Let's go to Darren and the panel. Back to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum where the Leafs trail 2-1. No scoring in the second period. You see Michael Grabner and James Van Riemsdyk having good games. Let's go downstairs to Paul Hendrick along with Chris Johnson.
Chris, 19 days between games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The power play seems to have paid the price here tonight on Long Island.
Special teams have been the difference in this one. We all remember the 2 shorthanded goals. Well, how about the 2 power plays the Leafs had in the second period? Here you see Phil Kessel, not sharp. Can't make a simple pass there up to the point. Mason Raymond with a turnover here that turns it again with the Isles able to clear the zone. Once again on the second power play a little later on, Phil Kessel with a zone entry. Doesn't get deep in. It's right back out. And then, of course, maybe a little bad luck here. Dion Phaneuf breaks his stick. Almost another shorthanded breakaway. This just can't happen. You're being outscored 2-0 with the man advantage. Not good enough so far.
Tim Gleason, no stranger to fighting majors. Why was this with Eric Bolton so significant for him?
This was Tim Gleason's first fight, the one in the second period, since a preseason fight when he played in Carolina that gave him a concussion and knocked him out for the first 10 games of the season. You'll see here Johnny Murray, the linesman, has a discussion with Gleason. He ends up going to the Leafs dressing room, getting subjected to the NHL's concussion testing, and it was significant because he returned, because that concussion early in the year totally sidetracked his time for the Hurricanes, and it's probably the number one reason he's a member of the Leafs today.
Terrific insight, Chris. Joe, let's send it back up to you. And great news, Tim Gleason is back for the third period.
All right, thank you, Paul. As we get set for the third, the Leafs are 2-14-1 when they've trailed heading to the third period. That's the bad news. The good news is they came back from a 1-0 deficit against the Vancouver Canucks and scored 3 unanswered third period goals in their final game before the Olympic break to win 3-1. They started even strength here as it shot down in the Toronto zone.
And you heard Chris talk about the power play, and I agree with him. And one of the reasons when you get some shorties scored against you, you just get a little bit hesitant. And when you're hesitant working a power play, the end result is never good.
Straight forced back behind the goal by Kessel. Now Van Riemsdyk in there trying to come away with it. Kessel does. Back to the point. Riley, wrist shot. And he was waiting as long as he could to get some traffic in front of the net. But by the time he had to shoot it, Nabokov had a good look.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Well, Nabokov, after I thought looked a little shaky early, has really settled in here and has given the Islanders some pretty strong goaltending in the second period in particular.
16 shots apiece now in the game. Fired deep into the left wing corner. Played on the backhand by Nelson into the slot. Now here's Nelson with it again, steering around on the far side. Lupul will get to it, and he'll try to play it out past Bolton and does. Kadri surrounded, took a pretty good right cross to the jaw as the puck comes into the slot, and Phaneuf couldn't come away with it. Out into the center ice area, Phaneuf bowls over his man. Takes another hit from Vanek. Vanek comes away with the puck. A drop pass there for Opozo. Opozo taken to the boards by Carl Gunnarsson. Back behind the net. It goes a centering pass into the slot. A shot. That just grazes the post as Strome let it go. Back to the blue line and fanning on the shot completely. Over on the far side was Thomas Hickey. The Leafs launch it high to center ice. Couldn't bat it in deep. Changes coming. Puck along the boards. And it is still uncontrollable. Now brought in by Lee. He goes into the corner against Franson, and a quick shot went wide of the net. That hit the official. Anders Lee back to the net. Now trying to come in front. He did. And Franson knocked it away just in time to not allow Ryan Strome to get a shot from the short side. Good forechecking here by the Islanders. Lee around behind the net. And Franson will get to it, and it is Gardner sending it to the line, but not out. Now pushed ahead on the wing, and unable to get free was Troy Bodie. Back into the Leaf zone it goes again. Bolton taken to the boards by Gardner. Puck is in their skates. Battle along the wall, and Franson is able to free it up, and now it is McClement getting it ahead to Kuhlman and onto the wing to Bodie. His shot is scared wide of the goal by Nabokov. Bodie trying to get an offensive hit there on Wisnowski. Leafs keep the puck in momentarily, and it'll come to center ice. Toronto playing with 7 defensemen again tonight. So this fourth line, when McClement and Smith are on, someone else is getting some extra ice, and right now it is Phil Kessel. Ranger against the wall. Poked it free, Strake got it freed up, and it's brought by McDonald to center ice. And into the Toronto zone, Smith hustling back, plays it up on the wing for Kessel. Kessel, a rink-wide pass is knocked out of the air, and McClement was heading to the bench anyway. Brought to center by DeHaan. Played deep into the Islanders zone, or into the Leaf zone by the Islanders. Pushed up on the wall, trying to find Kessel. That is broken up. Smith still in there after it. And Ranger takes it back to the net and gives it off there to Morgan Riley. To Kessel. Long pass to center ice, knocked down by the Islanders, but stolen back by the Leafs. Van Riemsdyk carries in on the backhand, and he made a nice play to get it to his forehand, and Nabokov made an excellent save. DeHaan off a stick and into the Toronto zone, courtesy Clutterbuck. Around back of the net, Clutterbuck with a bit of a hit, and it is Lupul turning with it now for Toronto. He'll send it high to center ice. A glove pass is going to be whistled down here as Vanek took that from his defenseman. And there'll be a face-off back in the center ice area.
Well, earlier in this period, Hamonic here gives Kadri a pretty good straight arm, Joe, that you called. And Kadri trying to draw the penalty as well, as that one never feels good. And a giveaway here by Bailey in the neutral zone sends Van Riemsdyk off. And another excellent save by Nabokov as he got his right pad on it.
Brown on the boards, up on the wing to the line, but not out. Played behind the goal. Vanek's late coming out. Now gets a backhand away, and Bernier had that post covered. Raymond tied up by Opozo. Bouncing puck to the line is brought out and onto the wing for Clarkson. Clarkson in across the line, stops, now cycles it into the corner. Raymond with a pass in front. Clarkson with it, and it was Carl Gunnarsson coming in after it, and he knocked it over top of the net. And now Phaneuf is unable to keep it in at the blue line. Carl Gunnarsson has picked his spots. Scored an important goal a couple of weeks ago, and right here he jumps right in.
And I haven't minded this line at all with Kadri and Mason Raymond and Clarkson. They've had some pretty good chances, mostly created from low plays like this. And you're right, Gunnarsson jumps into the play, the puck's rolling, and it gets away from him and goes over the net.
Opozo just did get a piece of that as he came back and got a piece of Gunnarsson's stick. Clarkson was right behind him.
Kessel being double shifted again here.
You're tired from the long trip. Here's a chance for McClement. Works back to the goal line. Dishes it off for Kessel. Kessel working along the boards, tied up. McClement trying to help him out, but it comes free. And Lee gets it out into the center ice area. The Islanders will play it in deep. 14:41 to play here in the third period. 2-1 in favor of New York. Gardner dropping it back for Franson. A long pass ahead for Bozak. Bozak pushed off the disc, now brought in offside by Lupul, and it'll be whistled in.
Well, an interesting move because they come back with the big line, and then Lupul gets a chance to go on it with Van Riemsdyk and Bozak here, and Lupul has not had a good night for me at all. He just seems to be a step behind, and let's see if he gets a little energized here being with Bozak and Van Riemsdyk.
So Randy Carlyle doing a little juggling here. And the draw won by New York. DeHaan, long bouncing shot in on goal, and that was handled nicely by Bernier. Now to the far side for Bailey. Bailey loses it. Van Riemsdyk it for Lupul. Lupul will chip it into the zone. He hustles in there after it against Travis Hamonic. They go to the boards. Hamonic has it in his skates. Lupul is bumped. Bozak came out with it momentarily, and it's up on the wing for Grabner, and Grabner gets it on for Clutterbuck, who got it out at center. Hamonic across the line, tried to drop it back for Cal Clutterbuck, but that didn't work. Into the corner now for Josh Bailey. Bailey tied up there. Or at least Carl Gunnarsson to it, and onto the wing. It's launched high into the center ice area. That bounced away from DeHaan, and now Lupul is after it into the corner. He's got Raymond sifting around in front of the net. Bozak couldn't get there in time to get it to him. Out back of the goal and into the far corner it goes. DeHaan up on the wing and out at center for Grabner. His two shorthanded goals are the difference in the game. Nelson working to the side of the goal, comes out in front, they jam at it, and pinning that pad to the post was Bernier. Back of the goal for Mason Raymond. Up on the left wing for Kadri. Nazem Kadri's pass went off a stick, but Clarkson's going to get to it first. Clarkson around back of the net. Kadri stole it and then couldn't get it in front as he was filled in by Nelson just at the last second. Nelson made a great play there because Kadri had lots of net to utilize if he could have gotten another half foot out from the goal line. Now he gets filled in there by Hickey. Pass off a stick to center. Oposo couldn't break. Raymond with some room plays it behind the goal for Cody Franson, and he gets away from Thomas Vanek. Franson a long up trying to find Clarkson, had to go off a leg, and down into the Islander zone it goes. Some debris in the center ice area as it comes down into the zone. Gardner trying to get there. It would have been icing, but the race was too close, so it was waved off. 12:10 to play in the third. Back of the net and up on the wing, but not out. Long shot deflects just wide of the goal. There's a rebound in front of the goal. Patsy Bernier! Holy mackerel, what a save that is! Jonathan Bernier makes a huge save to keep it a 1-goal deficit.
Welcome back to Long Island, New York and Nassau County Coliseum. It's now time to live the game with the new windows. On top of the world at one moment and jettison to its depth in another, Sportsnet.ca looks into Chris Letang and his recent stroke that has not only threatened this season but possibly his entire career. Just 26 years young, Sportsnet.ca examines why and how with Chris Letang. Live the game with the new windows, one device for everything in your life.
Scary situation for a great young defenseman. Face off to the right of Jonathan Bernier. Draw one, it comes back to straight. The long shot is a weak one. Bernier's going to smother that with the assistance of Paul Ranger. He'll do it all over again in the circle to his right.
Kessel back now in his normal spot.
Face-off is scrummed to the side of the net. Morgan Riley works up on the right wing, trying to get it to center dead, and Van Riemsdyk peppers it deep into the zone. Nabokov playing it into the corner for Strike. Laid off the boards and bounces to Grabner, and Grabner gets it free and onto the wing for McDonald. Andrew McDonald in with a pass off a skate it into the corner. Grabbed there by Bailey. Bailey pinned to the boards by Riley. The puck comes free to Grabner. Back to the point again for Brian Straight. The shot knocked out of the air. And Bernier was grabbing at air as he went over. Grabner's been all over them. Now here's a loose puck in front. Back and scores! Van Riemsdyk, I think, is going to get credit for it. His first shot hit the post. But Paul Ranger was in there as well. Ranger's going to get the goal.
Well, the one end, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the puck goes up off a body. Bernier looks for it. Grabner turns around, and then Ranger knocks the puck away, and then he'll join the attack. And what a play here by Van Riemsdyk, trying to go short side off the post. And I believe it's going to be Paul Ranger who follows the play, who's going to knock it in after the initial chance goes off the post. And there's the reaction, and there is the tying goal.
So we talked about offense from the defense in the opening. There's another example of it as Paul Ranger gets the goal that gets the Leafs into a tie. Now Vanek into the attack, and the pass is gobbled up there by Carl Gunnarsson. For Ranger, it is goal number 3 on the season. Leafs back into the attack, and the shot deflects wide. Kadri around behind the net. He works back to the blue line to Phaneuf's shot, and that was just off the mark wide. Played out at center ice in a 2-on-1. Here's a chance now and over the line. Nelson with the shot, and that was deflected into the corner by goaltender Bernier. A pass into an open corner is gobbled up there by Kadri. Leafs get it out at center, and Lupul across the line. Lupul sends it high off the glass behind the net. Clarkson got a swipe at it. Lupul centers, and unable to get to it in time was Kuhlman coming off the bench. Kuhlman's behind the net. Tackled by DeHaan. Puck still free as it goes into the near corner. Raymond with a hit. Puck still free in the offensive end for Toronto, and then launched high into the center ice area. They have originally credited the goal to Van Riemsdyk. That will be changed. Into the center ice area and down into the Toronto zone. McDonald playing it around behind the net. Strome trying to play it out in front, had it knocked away. Gardner saucers it behind for Franson, who gets it up on the wing for Troy Bodie. He is bowled over. Puck maintained in the offensive end by the Islanders. Gardner once more behind the net for Franson. Franson up on the wing, and the Leafs will get it to center ice for Kuhlman. He and Troy Bodie are across the line. The drop pass is offside. The Leafs have tied the game. Paul Rangers third from Van Riemsdyk, 2-2. Anything for Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
Michael Grabner, he's one of those players that just seems to get so many chances in the course of the game, and often he doesn't convert. Well, tonight he's converted on a couple of shorthanded goals early in the game in the first period, and it looked like it was going to be his night. Then he gets off on a breakaway here. Good save by Bernier in the second period, and he was almost gone in that period as well if it wasn't for Phaneuf playing the puck with a broken stick.
Now out at center ice here, the Islanders back in with Clutterbuck into the slot. Bailey launched it over top of the goal. Leafs are saying that went into the screen, and they better hurry and restore order here. Al Kessel gets it freed up, and now here is Bozak to center. He'll launch it into the far corner. Van Riemsdyk after it there with Hamonic. Bozak chopped at it. Kessel hovering around. Bozak in the slot to Phaneuf and Dragon scores! The one-timer by Dion Phaneuf! Holy mackerel, the Leafs have the lead!
Another goal from the defense. Phaneuf scored an overtime goal last year in this building, and he gets a big one here tonight, but it's James Van Riemsdyk hunting down the puck right there on the half boards. Makes a wonderful play to get it alive. Bozak filters it over to Dion Phaneuf, and we've seen that shot so many times. But look at Van Riemsdyk. Hunt the puck down, work it down low. Bozak, who helped out on the giveaway to begin with, gets the puck right in the slot, throws it over on a tee to Phaneuf for the one-timer, and he absolutely rifles it up over top of the Bachhoff shoulder.
Yeah, guys, 12 goals from the D in the last 15 games.
Lupo launches it down into the Islander zone again. Now here's Kadri into the forecheck, but it is played away from him by Vanek. Right back behind the net. Kadri, Lupo, Clarkson. Kadri hovering off to the side. A sweeping wraparound attempt by Clarkson was stopped. And it's back into the center ice area for the Islanders. This rolls down now. The penalty is coming here to Toronto as it is touched by Phaneuf. And now Phaneuf gets into a bit of a shoving match. And a discussion going nose to nose with Thomas Vanek.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Molson Canadian Beer Fridge, Project Indonesia. See the whole story online.
Toronto, number 36, minor penalty.
Gunnarsson got caught flat-footed. Nelson was going through the neutral zones, trying to split the defense. And there's the free arm out, as he would have been gone on a breakaway.
So the fourth power play opportunity for the Islanders comes as a result. And the Leafs will be into the penalty kill mode. Phaneuf against the boards with Gleason. He lost it. Back of the net. It's banked to the blue line, and it's going to escape and come all the way out at center ice. Onto the left wing side for Josh Bailey. Lee is with him as it goes to the right wing side. Lee to the front of the net. And it was tipped away there by Bernier. Back to the blue line for Bailey, and the shot was off a leg wide. Backhand attempt by Gleason didn't clear. Swept around the far side for Travis Hamonic. Hamonic gets it back in for Strome. Strome back to Hamonic. Hamonic over on the near side to Hahn. Pass across in front of the net. Backhand shot, scores!
Some pretty good puck movement here by the New York Islanders. They win the puck battle, go D to D, and then a nice fake pass through the seam. And that was a beauty by the youngster DeHaan. And then Bailey with a beautiful pass afterwards over to Lee. And that's how Lee has to play the game. A big body goes to the net, and he makes a pretty good play.
Young man who played a little bit at Notre Dame. So it is a 3-3 tie. The Leafs give up a goal on their fourth penalty of the game. Now a wraparound attempt broken up there by Jake Gardner. Gardner swings out in front of his own goal, gets it up on the left wing side, and Van Riemsdyk carries on. Bouncing puck to the side of the goal. Leafs have scored at evens and full strength here tonight, but all specialty team goals for the Islanders. 2 shorties and a power play. Ranson stands up his man, and this will go for icing. It'll be brought back into the Islander zone.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
And I guess it's fitting, Joe, because on 5-on-5 play, the Islanders have the least amount of goals in the National Hockey League. So they better have their special teams working, and tonight they do with a couple of shorties. And there's the youngster Lee with his first goal on the power play.
So the face-off to the left of Evgeny Nabokov. McDonald plays it off the boards and down the ice again, but this time icing is waved off. Islanders quick to the bench for a change. Kadri, rink wide, Lupo. Got a quick glance across the line for Kadri. Back to Lupo! Scores! Backhand by Joffrey Lupo, and the Leafs have regained the lead.
You know, it's funny. Lupo didn't have anything going in this game. Didn't seem to have his legs. Carlisle put him up on the big line for a couple of shifts. Then he put him back, and all of a sudden he seemed to find some jump. And here's a good example of vintage Lupo when he's going. Give and go. A little give and go, take it to the net, and then a pretty little backhand over top of Nabokov. And what a pass here by Kadri. Beauty. And then a chip over the glove, and the Leafs get the power play goal right back. That's just a beautiful shot by Joffrey Lupo, and when he skates like that, he can be an extremely effective player, and in this third period, he's been much, much better.
18th goal of the season for Joffrey Lupo. The goals come a minute 2 apart, and the Leafs have regained a 1-goal lead with 6 minutes to play in the third period. Kuhlman wins the faceoff.
That was textbook. Give the puck to your winger, drive the net, and then a beautiful pass to get it back. A classic give-and-go goal.
Bodie on the wing, and Raymond sends it in deep. Around behind the net is DeHaan. Plays it up on the right wing side, and the Islanders break through center. Roaring to the net is DeHaan, but unable to get it in was Opozo. Now they'll try on the near side for Vanek. Vanek, the former Sabre, can't handle the puck cleanly, and it's back into the center ice area.
Vanek's been pretty, hasn't he? For a guy that wants to probably get traded to a contender.
Straight and able to move. There are a lot of scouts in the building here. The Islanders, one would think, will be fairly active at the trade deadline. Now here is Grabner in across the line. Grabner with a backhand pass broken up, and Kessel with speed. Grabner's trying to catch him, and he has. A pass in now for Riley, and he missed it.
Now the Leafs have to play the score a little bit here. They're up by a goal. They got 5 minutes left.
Bozak intercepts. Pass for shot into the screen as Van Riemsdyk took that quick feed at the side of the net and could not beat Nabokov. Thank you, gang. We'll look forward to that as the Leafs have a 1-goal lead restored on Joffrey Lupo's 18th of the season. DeHaan bringing it through center onto the left wing side for Bailey. Bailey sends it on the backhand into the corner for Clutterbuck. Tied up by Ranger. Forced up onto the corner. 9-ironed out into the center ice area and iced by Phil Kessel. So Oh, it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone for another face-off. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TV.
Special teams have been a factor. Of course, the Kessel line with Bozak and John Van Riemsdyk again solid. And the power play for the Leafs got a little bit confused after they get gun-shy with 2 short-handed Islander goals.
Power play has been pretty good in the last 5 games, 3 of 12. But
I thought it was fine early. They worked the puck extremely well in the first period, and then they had a couple of miscues, and before you know it, things got a little cold.
Now brought out at center ice then by Vishnowsky onto the right wing side. Long shot by Opozo. Handled easily there by Bernier and fed out at center ice. Launched by Bozak in deep. He'll peel to the bench. 3:53 left to play. Third period.
Yeah.
Leafs 4 and the Islanders 3.
Now the Leafs are going to trap a little bit in the neutral zone.
Here's Nelson in from a sharp angle. Backhanded in front. Cleared by Kadri. Now Kadri's sitting on the puck hoping that they'll get a whistle. And then he passed it to Bernier and said, "You're allowed to do this, so you hang on to it."
Well, he was in trouble because he didn't want to get a delay of game, and he just moved it back, and the boys are sorting it out a little bit now. And the Leafs have to be very careful here. Don't join the attack. Keep the puck as much as you possibly can in the New York Islanders zone. Now Kadri has to move this, so he moves it back to Bernier. A little good communication, I'm sure, between Bernier and Kadri there.
Face off to the right of Jonathan Bernier. First of a 2-game road trip for the Maple Leafs. They'll play the Canadiens in Montreal on Saturday. Pass ahead at center is steered down the ice off the stick of Joffrey Lupul. DeHaan to the far side for Hamonic. Brought to center, gone around Lupul, backhanded into the corner. Lee goes in there after it. Kadri took it away from him. Lupul on the boards, got it to the line and out. DeHaan will have to stretch things out. Now brought back to the Leaf blue line and in on the left wing side for McDonald. McDonald rolls it in front. Bernier coming across. He made an excellent save to have those pads tightly together as he pushed across from his right to his left. Lee around behind the net. Back to the point. DeHaan's shot is blocked in front of the net. That hit Phaneuf in front of the goal. Played by Clarkson but not out. Hamonic with a wrist shot. That bounces off a leg wide. Islanders pressing here. Centering and down is Bernier. And the puck's in the net.
I thought the whistle went here, to be honest. And this will be interesting.
They're going to have a discussion about this.
And let's have a look at the overhead. Lee in front is going to chop it in right there. There's the first one. And the puck is between Bernier's leg, and then it goes in. But the question the Leafs are going to have is how long did Bernier have it tied up for?
So it is under review. And referee Dennis Leroux is going to be talking to the boys in Toronto. It rolls off the top of his pad. It's never underneath his pad. Watch this.
That's a good goal. And they can't go upstairs for the whistle anyway. So
and it's going to be credited, I would think. There it is here.
Review the ruling on the ice stands. Both good.
yeah, well, that's a goal.
So at 17:20, Anders Lee has his second goal.
Yeah, he was on a roll with Bridgeport, second most goals by a rookie in the American Hockey League.
He's had quite a night. I mean, here's his first goal. Pretty little passing play in the power play. He goes to the net. And he goes to the net, stick on the ice. And the puck squeaks somehow between the legs of Jonathan Bernier and in the net.
How he had scored in the NHL prior to tonight. Played 2 games and had a goal and an assist
Like a goal in his first shot against Winnipeg a year ago.
I think you're right. So, a big night for Anders Lee, and the game is tied at 4. Played out into the center ice area for Josh Bailey. He gets across the line, rolls it in for Clutterbuck, and he was stumbling as he was getting to the net and could not get his stick on the puck. Played out into the center ice area. Launched down on a bounce to the side of the Toronto goal. 2 minutes to go, third period. And the gathering here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum getting into the game. There are a lot of Leaf fans in attendance. Kessel had it bounce away from him. Brought back the other way now by Brock Nelson. He was knocked down on the play by Phaneuf. The centering pass has gone high into the air right under the stick of Bozak. He tries to throw it for Kessel, and a glove pass or a high stick has whistled the play down with 1:25 to go in regulation time. They are crediting Lee with the goal at this particular point unassisted. But now Strom and Hamonic have drawn assists. Down into the zone, Clarkson. Behind the goal, Kadri. Lupul trying to come out, back to the point to Gleason, back to Lupul. Lupul trying to shield it, trying to get an avenue to the puck. Now the net goes around behind the goal. Centers in front, Kadri! Had it deflected by McDonald wide of the goal. The net was empty. And McDonald saves the day. And an errant pass for an icing. No, waved off. They're saying that Grabner was in position ahead of the Leaf defense. So the icing was waved off. And now here are the Islanders back in business. Opozo to the point to DeHaan. Shot is off the mark wide. Lupul will get it to the far side with 30 seconds to go. Lupul just playing it in. Peeling to the bench. Out comes DeHaan. Through center. Overtime is going to be, I think, arriving in 17.5 seconds. But McDonald saves the day right here.
Good play by Lupul's at a terrific third period. Kadri just can't get the puck. It's a little behind him, so that split second allows McDonald to get into the shooting lane, and he makes a big-time block for his team.
Bozak wins the face-off, and Phaneuf turns with the puck with a pass off Kessel's stick into the zone. DeHaan will play it high to the center ice area. Opozo with one last rush into the corner, drops it back, comes back to the point, and Bozak will not get an opportunity to attack without time running out. So an entertaining night here for the gathering, far from capacity at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, sent to overtime in a 4-4 game. Jenny Nabokov has been excellent, and the Maple Leafs took the lead on a couple of occasions in this period after coming back from a 2-1 deficit to start the third.
Yeah, they'll be happy that they gained the lead. They won't be so happy that they gave it up again. And 3 Leaf goals in this period. It's 2-2, and Ranger scores here, and that tied the game, and then Phaneuf puts them ahead 3-2 with a blast after some nice work on the forecheck, and the Islanders tie it, and then Lupul puts them ahead with a pretty backhand before the Islanders tied it again moments ago. And here's the Lee tying goal that ricochets between the pads of Bernier and then squeaks in to the net.
So the teams will go to overtime. And at this particular point in the season, Leafs are 11-6 in extra time. 9-4 of those have been in the shootout. The Islanders are 8-8, and they are 6-4 in the extra time through shootouts as well.
But for this last stretch here, the Leafs just keep have to keep putting points in the bank, and they'll take the first one, and they'd love to get the second bonus point now. And if we look at the Eastern Conference, we update the standings. Montreal's in overtime, so they get a point already, and the Leafs have been already given a point now that they are in overtime. And the Rangers won, so that's why they have moved up to 69 points.
And the Leafs could move past Tampa with a victory here tonight, as a lot of scoreboard watching is going to start to ramp up here if it hasn't already. Against the boards, Carl Gunnarsson loses it. Hamonic to DeHaan. Saucered off now for Bailey. Bailey hits the Leaf blue line. Bailey into the slot, knocked away from him. Kessel standing still, now decides to start out with it. He's got Bozak with him. Kessel in across the line. Kessel stops to Phaneuf a shot, and that was blocked before it reached anybody, and out at center ice comes Vanek. Had it knocked off his stick by Kessel. Vanek in across the line with a long shoot in, and Bernier will bring a stoppage of play, and the faceoff will come in the circle to his right.
And Lupul and Kadri come over the boards as Carlisle rewards those two players with some ice time here in a real good third period for both of them.
After the game, Connected will follow us immediately on Bonga and Brendan with all of the highlights on a busy night in the National Hockey League as teams get back into the swing of things. Straight to the far side, a drive, Patsy, rebound, down is Bernier!
And the problem when you do that, you have Kadri taking the drop, who struggles in that area. Part of his game that is still not where he'd like it to be yet. You lose the draw, and then Bernier here looks through traffic, finds the puck, and that's just a heck of a stop as Vanek was right at the doorstep.
Kadri has struggled, winning just 8 of 17 here tonight, 47%. Enough. Long pass off Lupul's stick, launched out at center ice, and here's Kadri back on after being replaced by Bozak to take the faceoff. Near side for Straight. Played ahead at center, and Kyle Oposo brings it in over the line. Vanek is with him. Oposo runs out of real estate. Lupul swinging it around the boards. Falling on the play was McDonald, but he has it now back in his own zone. Hickey plays it in on the right side. Thomas Hickey taken down with a hit there and in around the boards near side for Lupul. Lupul with a pass ahead at center for Kadri. Kadri with one man back. Got the shot away, but it was blocked on a good play made there by Brock Nelson.
Team looks a little different in these situations. The Islanders are their John Tavares, don't they? Man.
I guess so. Hickey lays it down into the corner,
where he dominates the boards, twists and turns without an election.
Nelson lost it, the shot goes! Wisnowski on a giveaway in front of the net! Wisnowski on a giveaway right in front of the goal.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were expecting this. I mean, the Leafs are in pretty good shape. And there is the giveaway.
James Van Riemsdyk.
The puck is hopping on him. And he's trying to just chip it through, and he fans on it. And Wisnowski, sneaking into the slot, just rifles it past Bernier. Bernier with no chance as that puck just arrived in front of him.
Here are the Molson Canadian 3 stars. Anders Lee with a pair. Phil Kessel with a goal and an assist. Michael Grabner with 2 shorthanded goals, scored 48 seconds apart. Wisnowski with the game winner in overtime. The Leafs losing by a score of 5-4. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned now for Connected.